Welcome back to my channel and hello to those who are new here. So today's video is my 2021 flip through. As most of you already know, I only started bullet journaling in October 2021, but I can already see how much progress I've made. So I'm really looking forward to continuing on this journey over the next couple of years, hopefully. So we are starting off with October, where I created a future log just for the last 3 months of the year. You'll then see that I've got my monthly spread where I wrote down events that are happening during the month, and also added things like my habit tracker, well-being tracker, which I actually didn't continue using the well-being tracker for various reasons. And then I've also got here my things that will make this month great too. So I'm starting with my weeklies. And at this time, I thought it was really important for me to have more of a space for my reflections at the end of the week. So that's why I've got a whole page dedicated to that. I also started uni this month. So on one of the weeks, I ended up creating a spread with uni tasks where I just wrote down anything that I needed to do, any assignment deadlines, things like that. And then I've also got a space at the bottom for things to remember. So after my first uni weekend, I was like, oh, I really want to write down some key points that I felt like would be really helpful for me. In the end, I ended up just transferring that over to my actual uni book that I'm using. So usually at the end of each weekend, I'll just flick through that and just see if there's anything that, highlight anything there that I need to remember. So a few of my friends recently have been asking me why I started bullet journaling and basically what was my inspiration. I started because I've always had a love for planning, but was never ever happy with any of the layouts of planners that I saw in the stores. So I actually ended up creating my own planner, which I have mentioned a couple of times, which is my self-care planners, and those are available on Amazon. I'll leave the link below. But somehow that still wasn't enough for me, and I wanted to find a way to be organized but also let out my creative side. So now I use both my self-care planner and my bullet journal, which both of them meet my planning and bullet journaling needs. So next up we have my step tracker. So in my workplace we decided to take part in the World Walking Challenge. So I've added this spread here just to track my spreads, and it's something that I've continued using as it really does encourage me to walk more. There are some days where obviously I don't move around so much if I'm stuck at my work desk or just not having a lot of energy, but most of the time I do try to get at least 2,000 steps in a day. Next I have my self-care page, one of my favorite pages that I do in every spread, just because it just gives me a chance to write down just some small ways that I can look after myself during the month. And then next to that I've got my bookshelf, smaller version than the one that was in my 2022 setup. I think initially I thought I was going to put reviews on the bottom of this page, but as you can see I didn't use that. Then I've got my lifestyle plan and 15-minute tasks. If you have watched my videos before, you'll know what they're both used for. But basically it's just writing down ways that I can live a better lifestyle each month. This year I did condense it down to just at the start of my 2022 spread, because I found that I was just repeating them each month. So I just kept just one page. And my 15-minute task I actually haven't done anymore because I didn't actually find time to do any 15-minute tasks. So yeah, I haven't carried that on into the new year. I also haven't carried on my quotes pages or my expenses, just because I didn't feel like I used them a lot, and I just want to take the pressure off myself from having to create it each month. Again, it's my planner, so I can take out what I want basically. And then lastly, for October was my mood tracker. I'm really not happy with this at all. I guess it's just because I'm now comparing it to the ones that I have done already. But hey ho, it was my first ever time doing a mood tracker, and it served its purpose, I guess. So now on to November. Similar layout, where I have my monthly spread where I write down any events for the month, and then on the other side I have my things that will make this month great, and then also my habit trackers. I must say I'm quite impressed with my habit trackers. I guess the only one that I was slacking on was my morning and evening routine, but for the most part, most of them are coloured in, which I'm quite impressed with. Just hope I'm able to continue on with that over this year. So here I condensed down the 15-minute tasks as I realized I wasn't using it a lot, and instead I added like a YouTube plan, where the sticky note thing on the left was the dates that I was going to post, and then on the right was just any ideas that I have. Hope you'll all agree with me that this November mood tracker was a lot better than the October one. Although somehow I forgot to colour in the 30th, and I filmed this a couple of days ago and realised that, and was like, crap, what happened on the 30th? I don't know what mood I was in. I might go back and look at my weekly spread and see what happened on the 30th, and colour it in then. But yeah, that's why that one's empty. So next I've got my weeklies. It's a little bit different from my October one. I've got bigger boxes for each day and then a smaller section for my reflections. Reason being, I had started journaling again in a separate notebook, so I spent the end of the week reflecting in that as well. But also I've left a couple of lines at the bottom of each box where I just wrote down significant things that have happened that day. I kept track of my YouTube views, and just anything important that happened that day, or anything that really hit home. And here I've got a blank weekly. This probably answers my question as to why I didn't fill in the 30th. I don't know if this was the last week of November or not, or if it was just an extra page that I was using for content. Who knows? But onto one of my favourite spreads so far, my December setup. Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year for me. I absolutely love it, and I'm sad that it's gone and I've got to wait another 360 something days. But yeah, this spread, one of my favourites. I love the simplicity of the doodles. I love where I positioned it, and I also love the colours. So as you can see, my monthly again is a little bit different this month. I have a smaller section to write my monthly events, and then I've combined the things that will make this month great and my habit trackers on here as well. Habit trackers here, let's not talk about it, or maybe talk about it. So basically I got COVID towards the last week of December, so that's why those habit trackers were looking a bit empty, not like my November ones at all, but yeah, I am fully recovered now, I think, thankfully, but that's why that was empty. And I think also looking at the weeklies, I had completely missed a week out, again because I just wasn't doing anything but just laying in bed and watching movies or sleeping, just because COVID got me real bad. These weeklies I love as well. I love the Dutch door and the fact that I only needed to do the doodles on 2 pages rather than having to do it on every weekly page. And I just like that, I just love just the theme and the colours and the Christmas trees and things like that. Like you can hear it in my voice that it gets me really, really excited. And in December, I didn't do a reflection slot. Again, I just left some space along the bottom to do quick reflections, because at the end of the week, I do my full reflection in my journal. So next on, I have gone on to my expenses, which again I haven't continued on into the new year. Instead, I changed it to budgeting. But then obviously because it was Christmas, I've got my holiday gift ideas here. This was really, really helpful. I was able to keep track of what I was buying, how much I was spending, when I've bought it, when they've been received, when I needed to wrap, things like that. And then as usual, I've got my self-care and lifestyle plan, and also 15-minute task and YouTube plan as well here. So lastly, you'll see my step tracker and my mood tracker. Really love how they both turned out. Of course, because of COVID, there's a lot of red hats, but I'm quite happy to see some green ones there too. If you've gotten this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope it has been inspiring for you, and if you do recreate any of my spreads, do tag me on Instagram at _my self-care planners. Thank you.